Okay, so good evening, everyone. So, how many of you I think almost 80% of the students have already started drafting, like they're at least comfortable with AutoCAD and they know the basics. But like, is there any student who is facing difficulty in drafting the plan? Because I haven't still taught you how to draft a plan in AutoCAD, right? I've told you about three basic commands. That is the line, offset, and the trim option. So if you are still facing problems, I can start with all the commands, basically from starting from line tool to every polyline, arcs, and all those things. So do you want me to go that way, or like you want to skip those parts? It all depends on you, because the way you want, you'll get it. Because if you know already those things, you shouldn't waste time behind that, right? That's why. So Sion sent me this plan and he asked me to review this. Okay, so basically, where is the entry? Shayan, hello. So this is your entry, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is your entry.
No, this is not entry. This is the window section. Entrance is uh,
Then
entrance is under this state.
okay. You provided the entrance in this direction. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. In that case, try to shift your door towards this corner actually. Okay, like start from here to there.
Okay, fine.
You can do one more thing as well, like you can put this landing part as a cantilever in this portion. Okay, it will provide a good aesthetic to the front view of the building.
Okay, I was thinking that I should put a porch here before that door
Okay,
with
that thing you can do, then no need to provide that.
two columns so that I can
Yeah.
expand and
Okay.
a glass shade to the total height up to the G+2. Sorry, up to the first floor and second floor. From first floor and
Okay, so basically you are also considering how you will it will look in 3D, right?
yes,
And that
yes.
is a good thing actually. You should actually visualize that before, if you consider small elements or looks that you want to bring into your 3D from the very beginning of drafting, like don't think too much, but at least if you are considering some things, that is good, because it will help. And after your plan is finalized, even sometimes it get change, the minor changes are there while you'll be doing the 3D, because maybe the way you have thought when you'll be doing the 3D, maybe some new idea come to your mind, you want to apply new things, that is fine. Then you provided bedroom here, kitchen in the east direction. Okay. See, not talking about vastu, but if you are providing a kitchen like this, if some guests enter to the particular, room, first he'll be exposed to the kitchen, and that is not so good, I think. You can, you could have shifted this kitchen to the southeast corner actually, and okay, you can do that. Not that much problem, but still, it would have been better if you shifted the kitchen to this end and you have shifted your bedroom to the upper portion of this. Fine.
Actually, I wanted to keep the kitchen open so that
Yeah, I understand that. That is
I can
fine.
easily access to the dining hall.
Okay, you provided 3 bathrooms. That's the problem. That's why it became so much congested. I'm just wondering why it is looking so congested. You provided 3 bathrooms. There was no need of providing 3 bathrooms.
One common bathroom and
Two
two.
attached toilets. Two attached. That is fine, but two attached toilet, like you are. That means you are considering that as a master bedroom. So, in a small place like this, I don't think that there is need. If the client requires in that way, that is fine. But I think one attached toilet and one common toilet would have been sufficient. So you could have utilized this space. Suppose this is your attached toilet. That is okay. Let me choose another color. See, you could have. This is fine. You kept this as a attached toilet. You could have done this one as a common toilet. Okay, and this one you could have. You can erase it, and so this area will look more clean and open. In that case, you could also do one thing. You can provide some kind of curtains, or
Screens.
yeah, screens, or 3 feet walls.
Yeah.
Upon that you can provide glasses, so your kitchen will be somehow separated, and also at the same time it will not be that much congested because of walls, like 3 inch sorry 3 feet height walls, and a glass above that, or some woodworks, some kind of separation.
Okay.
Screens could also be a good option. Fine, okay. And talking about the dimensions and drafting, yeah, and like do mention the scale also. I'll talk about that. That is fine. From drafting point of view, it is fine. And like the only thing you want to, like, you should work upon is to adjust these elements. Okay, I understand that the plot is very small. I understand you have like kept so many elements. That is completely fine. But you should look one thing. Whenever you are printing this drawing and handing over to someone, at a glance, the first glance, he or she should be impressed. Like he should have a feeling like, wow, that should be, maybe he like don't pronounce it verbally, but at least in his mind it should be like a wow or a pleasing picture, without reading the dimensions, without looking at what you have done, but at the first view. And from that point of view, I would say that you have chosen the colors that are fine, but you should look onto the line weights. And for example, this looks so much clumsy, you need to look at those
I've
things.
seen that eight-seated dining table because it's the maximum in a residential house we can afford in this plot. So I've given the maximum one. If
Yeah,
the
yeah, I understand. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
See, maybe that your furnitures are in such way that it will look clumsy. That is fine. But at that time, what you can do, you should have, like, you have to create some kind of contrast, some kind of colors that will maybe this dining table is still in this place, but it is not that much giving a clumsy look or clumsy feel to the whole picture. So at that time, what you need to do is just match it with the background, like reduce its opacity, or maybe change the colors and make it more light, so that it doesn't give a feeling of clumsiness. Okay, and the very smart way is to reduce the line widths, because if you see your wall thickness, or the boundary line you have shown here, those are like I don't know the line width, but of this wardrobe or cupboard, whatever you have provided, this line thickness is more than that.
Okay.
That is the thing I'm talking about. Because the plan is good, very good, but you need to also focus on these things, because you have like shown the text bedroom here. It you know, it some kinds of give you a feel of like you have, it is congested. You have shown, but it is not congested. I can understand the bedroom dimension, like must, it should, it is 14 feet by, yeah, it is sufficient. It is a master bedroom, the dimension you have provided. It is a good size, but still it is looking congested because of the elements. That is the thing. And the and one very important thing, like don't provide it in black color. If you look
Okay.
at this particular drawing, what are the things that will like catch your eye first? First, the car, obviously, because it is the biggest element, and also the blue color will attract your eyes. Then the second thing is these carpets.
Okay. Is that
Like randomly ask some of your friends, like within 2 or 3 seconds, what are the elements you can see in this drawing? Just count 1, 2, 3. What you have seen? He will definitely tell, I have seen cars and some black elements. So that is something I am telling you from a graphic designer's point of view, that at a first glance, the thing whichever you are presenting, it should be a wow. So apart from that, everything is fine from technical or engineering point of view. I think the plan is really good. And just try to remove this bathroom. There is, I think, no need of this, and rest of the things are fine. And like placing the puja room in between kitchen and this bathroom, I don't think this is a good place. You can provide this in this corner, or maybe, yeah, you can provide this in the corner actually.
if I provide that in the corner, then the kitchen length will take the part from this dining hall. So I kept it there.
Okay.
Because northeast and north is only for the puja
Puja
area.
room, yeah, yeah.
So I kept it in the northeast. Basically, east and north is middle of that.
Okay. But also, if I look from the vastu point of view, at the first time, at the first point, your client will not accept this. Like the entry, the kitchen, and the puja room. These are the three major things that basically people are more concerned about. The people who are concerned about vastu, they at least want these three things to be placed properly as per vastu. Bedrooms and all those are like, okay, still acceptable, but puja room, kitchen, and entry, these three things are like you should look upon. Fine, still I, if I don't consider the vastu, still it is fine. Then it is fine.
Okay, I will try to make changes.
Yeah. Fine. So, and this one is from Sarasij, I guess. See, this is the kind of plan I was talking about. The same plan and same everything. I don't know if Sarasij has provided sufficient space or not for the rooms, but still it looks very clean. That is what I was talking about. I don't know whether the beds are in proper dimension or
So, sir, the
proportions.
bed is actually 1.8 by 2 meters.
1.8 by 2 meters. So that is basically, okay, that is smaller than the standard bed size, I guess. Because if you are showing a double bed, right,
Yes, sir.
and you have provided the length 2 meter.
1.2 meters and width is 1.8.
Okay, okay, no, that is fine. Yeah, that is acceptable. Then it is fine. 2 meter, that means you're almost 7 feet,
Yes, sir.
and yeah, that is fine. Okay, so you have provided a porch here. Like how you have accommodated these things? Like you have left this much part as garden and
Yes,
garage,
sir.
still you are left with.
Sir, the space is not too much, sir. It looks too much, but it isn't. Like the space between the dining tables and the walls, sir, it's approximately around 600 mm.
Okay, you can remove this wall actually.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I kept that wall because, sir, in India, sir, we mostly cook about spices and things. So, the dining room might get messed up because of the oils and stuff.
Okay, okay, okay. That is fine. But like why I was talking about this removing this wall. That is because this room dimension is very small, right? So
Yes, sir.
like you shouldn't have a feeling of clumsiness or that kind of that I'm sitting at a place which is very small and having my lunch or
Okay,
dinner.
sir.
So that's why. So you can obviously provide glass panels here.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so that will be separated and as well as it will be giving you a feeling of a wide
Mm.
room. Yeah, I actually like the plan. And you also provided okay, two bedrooms, fine. A common one. Yeah. I'm wondering how you have adjusted the rooms. Your rooms are basically.
So the rooms are quite small, sir, according to
Yeah,
size.
yeah, that is the thing.
It's like
I'm wondering.
3.4 by 3.6 meter is very small.
Yeah, that is like 3.6 meter is almost 12 feet and 3.4 meter is almost 11. Still, it is acceptable. I mean, 12 by 12 or 12 by 10, those are small rooms. You can, that is acceptable.
Like the area wasn't much, so we can't, give two big rooms for bedrooms.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, just one thing if you want to reconsider is that you can make one of these rooms bigger. Maybe
Okay,
this
sir.
one, just shift the walls up to this, just to make it a bigger room, nothing much than that, because you are already providing attached toilet, so you can reduce the this thing,
Okay,
size
sir.
of this attached toilet, so your bedroom will get a bigger space. And apart from that, I like the idea that you have tried to accommodate more and more space inside this living area. That is a good thing, and that should
Sir,
be your
actually, the
approach
living
actually.
area is in a step down, sir. It's a step in between the living and the lobby.
Okay, okay,
So the living area is only that part, and the lobby area is just for circulation, sir.
okay, okay, I understand. Okay, that is good. That's good. Like you can provide some wooden floors in this area that
Yes,
will
sir.
look good. What do you want to make here? Like a swimming pool, you will dip your legs into it and watch Netflix.
No, sir. This is
That
just,
is
sir, to make a sense of difference in places in the same room. I just thought maybe I should put a step down.
cool. That is cool. Okay, puja room. Yeah, the placement of the puja room is also good. I didn't get that particular kind of staircase. Basically, you starting with me from this one. This
No,
is your
sir.
entrance, right?
Entrance. Yeah, this is the entrance.
Okay, this
Uh,
is two steps up, right?
yeah.
Then this is the same level, or the stair is
Ye-
also continuing here.
Sir, this is the same level. There is no stair.
Then the
Then,
landing.
yeah, then the landing, then again a stairs.
Okay, so how much is this length from here to here?
Oh, sir, I have to check that, sir. Actually, I don't know. Uh,
Because just check one thing. How much you are providing this? 250 mm.
no, sir. That's around 200, and the landing is 1.2 and 1.2.
This you have provided 200.
Yes, sir.
The trade.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you shouldn't do that also, because 200 is a bit small actually.
Sir, actually, sir, I thought of that first, but if I don't put that 200, I can't fit that
Yeah,
much
yeah, yeah.
stairs there.
That is the thing. So in that case, you can also think of different kind of staircase.
Sir, actually,
Like,
I thought ki my stair, that would be the main part of the facade. If I put pergolas on the side of the
mhm.
staircase, so that would dominate the facade, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. But you can also do one thing. If you just a suggestion, like how many trades have you provided? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This one will be a 16, 17, 18.
Mm.
Okay. So basically the height you have provided, that is around 150, I guess.
Yes, sir.
The height you have thought of, like the
Mm,
riser height, right?
sir.
So to accommodate all the steps, you have to like reduce the trade size. But what you can do is you can divide this landing part as well, like this. So your one number of trade like riser will increase,
Yes,
and
sir.
in that case, the more you increase the number of risers here, by default the number of traders will also increase, and in that case you can like increase this spacing. Instead of 200, maybe at that time you can provide 205 or 210.
Okay.
So in the same way, how much is this? I guess this is 3 feet by 3 feet. How much you have provided? 1
Sir,
meter by.
1 meter by 1.2 by 1.5, around like that.
Okay, that is sufficient. So you can do that easily. Like also you can provide here as well something if you want.
Okay. Sir, I had one question. The riser, what if I provided around 200? Is that too much rather than 150?
See the like height of the riser, that depends on the comfortness. Okay, it depends from varies from building to building. For example, in offices, what happens? In offices, people are really busy. In commercial places like school, colleges, or office buildings. So in those places, people are very busy, and really a huge number of people frequently uses the staircase. So they are in a hurry. In that case, you are supposed to provide lower risers, maybe 135, 145, 140, like that. Even some places I have seen 120 or 100 as well.
Okay, sir.
So what happens? And at the same time, they are also increasing the width of the trade. So if I draw that, it will look something like that. So this is, maybe this is 100, 120, the and this is maybe 270. The trade is 270 and the
Okay, sir.
riser is 120. So what happens in hurry? People get a lot of space to step, and also they feel like they feel very much comfortable or less hurdle to ride on the stair. So they can quickly, run through this.
Yes,
But
sir.
in residential places, you can compromise these things, because we don't often, we generally use a stair very much, but not like how it is used in office or commercial places. So in that case, you have a bit of frequency, like you have that freedom of playing with those heights. And how you can decide the heights? Obviously, the from the floor height. The floor height, if you are considering the floor height as 3.2 meter. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so basically you will divide it. If you want to provide 150 one riser, then simply divide with your calculator 200
Need
divided by
around more
150.
than 30 steps.
Yeah, so that's how your number of risers will come, and from number of risers you can easily calculate the number of trades.
Sir, but is it fine to put around 200 riser?
See, 200, I think it will be very much high or steep actually.
Okay, sir.
But still you can provide in my in my home
Sir,
or.
actually, this riser is 200 because I need to fit only one flight of stairs. There's
I,
not
I
two
I
flights.
understand. I understand, and that's why also you had to provide your trades in this much numbers, you know.
Yes, sir.
If you like increase the height of the riser more, you could have also accommodated less number of treads,
Mm.
right? Because if you increase the number of, suppose I want to provide 20 risers, so in that case every riser will be of 160 mm,
Yes, sir.
and obviously from that my trades will be, suppose 21, I think. So what happens if I increase this 160 value to more like 200? So in that case I will be needing 16 risers. So obviously
Yes.
in that case I will be needing 17 trades. So to accommodate in this length, my width of the trades will also increase. You'll also get a sufficient amount of space. And
Yes, sir.
talking about the width of the trade, you know, a normal human feet, what is the length of a feet? Like maximum, what is
So
the
30
size?
centimeter.
What? Sorry,
30.
30 centimeter. Your 1 second. 30 centimeter is how much?
So around 1 feet, 12
Around
inches.
1 feet, right? So yeah, that is fine. That is fine. That is maximum. So basically, you can understand that from the size of the shoes. In generally, the maximum number of size, shoe size is 10 inches, or maybe in some cases 11 or 12 inches. So that is basically 1 feet. So that is
Yes, sir.
maximum. So even if you consider 10 inch, so that will come up to 254 millimeter, basically 250 mm. So you can consider, for general comfortable point of view, you can easily take from 250 to 260 your tread, and that will be very much comfortable. Like try to provide more than this, but in your case, the way you have tried to represent it, you can also reduce this to 240, but 200 is, I think, somehow uncomfortable, because see, you are the more the, like in the commercial places, if you look, the lower the riser and the wider the tread is, it is more comfortable for you to climb up.
Yes, sir.
And you are, what you are doing, you are increasing the riser height, and at the same time you are decreasing the tread width. So basically you are killing it from both the end. I
Sir,
understand,
actually, it's
like,
just a square staircase right now. Like each riser and
yeah,
tread is
those are
equal in
same.
length.
Okay, I
Yes, sir.
understand. That is fine. Just like try to imagine this thing. You are getting less space to put your legs, and at the same time you have to climb up more height. So
Yes,
just
sir.
just trade off between those two things. At the same time, obviously you are considering the design aspect, so that is good. At least you are thinking from that perspective, but also like try to accommodate this standard thing, and that is the shortcut I told you to accommodate this thing. If you provide like this, so
Yes,
this
sir.
will be one riser, this will be one riser. Just you are just providing triangular bifurcated landings, right? Not like this. Yeah, like this way.
Hmm.
I get you what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
You'll
Yes, sir.
step in here and here. So basically, you are increasing one number of risers. So obviously you can decrease one risers from this end. So
Yes, sir.
basically, you can accommodate more space, or increase the width of the trades in that way. And also, if you are doing that the same for this side, you can do that also. So basically you are here you had one landing, instead of that now you have 1 2 3 4. Basically you had two, now you have four.
Yes, so this one's better.
Yeah, so in that case you can basically your number of risers will be same, but the number of risers in these portions will reduce, and you will get more space to accommodate your trades. You just try that, you will realize that the width of the trade will come much greater than 200. It will come somewhere around maybe 205 or 210, something like that. So in
Okay.
that way you can do this, and this is good actually. And also one more cheating or cheat code is there. what you can do is basically what you are trying to do, you are trying to construct this house, like you are trying to provide a higher plinth level, right? Because this will
Yes,
be,
sir.
if this is your ground floor, I mean ground level, maybe I consider this as zero level.
Hmm.
So this will be your something maybe 1 meter level. I'm just assuming,
Yes, sir.
not maybe 1 meter, maybe 750 or 800 height.
Yes.
And this level will also at the same time will be zero level, right?
Sir, not zero, sir. It's
Yeah,
just one step down, sir.
one step, okay, maybe. So I consider it as maybe 0.5 meter or something like
Okay.
that. So that is very good. So what you can do, basically you are coming from zero to this level with two steps, right?
Yes, sir.
So the person who will be entering in this direction, he'll have to climb up two steps to reach to this particular level,
Yes, sir.
not more than that. So here you can provide higher riser. Maybe you provide the riser as 400 and 400 So what will happen basically, he will be climbing only two steps, so he will not face that much difficulty. Even though the risers are higher than the standard of 150 or 160. Maybe if you provide 300 and 300, so you are already climbing 600 to this level. Then you are left with how much? 3.2 meter minus zero point 0.6. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm getting
So you can like accommodate, you have to somehow manage this 3.2 meter height to get on the first floor. So if
it.
you are already accommodating 600 in this part, because this is in this place, the person have to only climb two steps. So it will not be that much hard for him, or he will not feel like that much discomfort or uncomfortable while climbing only two steps, even though that is higher, because you are considering 300 for each riser. So in this, in the upper part, you can consider 200 but here you can consider it or even higher. Okay,
Okay, sir.
or maybe three steps also, so you will reach almost 1 meter, so you'll be left with only 2.3 meters, I guess. 2.3 and 900 yeah. So you can easily accommodate this thing. I can assure you, and you will also, if you accommodate this also, your this complete thing, and you will also get the riser of your desired sorry, the trade of your desired width. You can easily get that.
Okay, sir.
So this is quite a good plan. And Sayan, what I was trying to tell you that if you look at Sarasi's plan, Sarasis, you are a civil engineer or an architect?
Architect.
Yeah, okay, that is understandable. Like from the colors you have chosen. See, what is the good thing I'll tell about this plan is, even if I don't look at any technical terms on all those, he have chosen two colors basically. Okay, one is this sky color and this gray color for the wall. So these two color like creates a good contrast and go with each other. So basically, this is kind of pleasing to the eye. And at the same time, if you look at this plant, this is also kind of a vibrant look, or also this is also colorful. That is good. But at the same time, if you are maintaining some kind of color theme, maybe just look at the colors.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
seeing that. I'm
yeah, I think you are getting what I'm trying to say. So that is the good thing about this plan, about Cersei's plan. And apart from that, I like the idea. So okay, good going actually. And also I'll say that Shayan, your drafting is also good, very good. Okay, and okay, so let's head towards today's class. And the people who are not submitting any drawings, or I don't know whether you are practicing in it or not, but at least like say that you are practicing by yourself. Because if you are still facing problem in AutoCAD, let us know, let me know, or let me know in the group, or else it will be difficult for you to like catch up. Okay, so coming back to AutoCAD. So how do you guys like want me to continue this AutoCAD session? Like, should I go to the all the commands and complete basics and all those things, or should I just go in overview and brief? How do you want to take these AutoCAD sessions? Like, I think there will be one more and two, three AutoCAD sessions, and after that we'll move to the 3D modeling part. So how do you want to take these sessions? No reply. No reply. I understand why, because the people who know AutoCAD, they are waiting for the people who will say like, "Sir, no, we want to learn from the very beginning." See, at least let me know what there will be problem. You will be the one who will suffer. So okay, just let me just quickly tell you the because yesterday I was talking about some concepts you will be thinking. So okay, let me just quickly go through the commands once again. So basically, you know, this is the AutoCAD interface. I have already told you how to switch on or switch off the grid and start drafting. Even you can like keep the grid on. Okay, and basically at the very beginning, you need to set your units. I'm repeating that again. UN enter. No, from UN enter, I don't think unit come. Yeah, UN enter. Fine. So basically, I talked about what is decimal unit, what is architectural, where to use those, what is engineering. Then there are also scientific and fractional. But for the architecture point of view, we don't use that. I think those are for mechanicals. I don't know. I actually never use those. I basically use these three: architectural, decimal, and engineering, and that is sufficient for us. So in this drawing, I have used decimals and in millimeters. And there is also a degree decimal place if you want to show some kind of angle. So you can set the precision by default here. So basically, this unit setup is for your, command inputs. The format in which you will be entering the dimensions, the lengths, or the angles. This is for you. And the dimension part that you want to show or the represent in the drawing, that is different. That will come under this dimension section. You can change that anytime. Okay, so after you set up your units, basically you can set the limits of your sheet. For example, if you are drafting in a A1 sheet, you want to do all the draftings within that A1 sheet. So you can what is the dimension of A1 sheet, so you can do that there. And you know what are the standard. Okay, is my like AutoCAD screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can set the limits and start drafting, and then you can keep this ortho on and off while you will be using, whether you want to use the ortho just to get your lines completely perpendicular to each other, and a lot more advantages are there using ortho. And at the same time, you need to switch on and switch off the ortho option, and you can use the command F8. So I think by default this ortho on and off option is associated with the shortcut F8 function 8 button, and if not, you can set that from the settings as well. So that is easier like for you whenever you will be drafting something. Okay, like doing some lines, and you can easily like switch on and off the ortho options. And apart from that, these things you need to on these snap tools, snap options, because you need to find those particular endpoint, midpoint, centers, your nodes, all those things. Okay, then also one more important thing is this: if you have this toolbar at your side, that is good, but if you don't have, keep it on, because you can access to the pan tool here, or you can also like do it from the command p enter. So you'll get this hand tool. Basically, this is useful while you'll be just maybe reviewing your drawings. You can easily zoom in and zoom out, and also at the same time you can just hold and drag the sheet. Okay, because if you are having this plus sign cursor, you cannot. You need to use your middle scroll button. While you'll be holding and dragging with the middle scroll button, you can use this pan. Frequently, you can jump between pan and this cursor tool easily. But if you want to do using the pan tool only, so you can just use P enter. Okay, so this was a plan I was drafting actually today. This was a commercial place. I thought of like explaining it with using this example. So apart from the pan tool, because I'm talking about this particular tools, because these are useful while you'll be reviewing your drawings and all those things. So what happens basically in this particular sheet, I haven't set the limits actually. So what will happen when I'll be entering Z enter and all, that means A enter, basically it will zoom out to a certain portion. Basically it will zoom out to whatever element I have drawn in this sheet. If I draw something, let me just show you an example. Because what happens many of the times people uses only one sheet, and within the one sheet he will draft anything. Like maybe you are doing a project, you are doing it in this portion, then you will be doing it within this portion. So what will happen whenever you will be doing this Z enter and A enter, it will zoom out to all the elements within your screen. So it will zoom out to this as well. And if this particular circle is not here, then if I enter Z enter A enter, basically it will zoom out to this portion. So it will show you all the elements or all the nodes, points, whatever you have put into the sheet in one screen. That is the function of zoom to all. Basically Z enter and A enter. And there is also another different options available with zoom options, like you can go to the center of your sheet. That is basically if you provide the limits, you will go to the center. Then different options are there. You can explore that as well. The PDF that was provided in the group, it also explained it very briefly. So then you can obviously you know how to save the files and all those things. Then the undo and redo options. And one more thing, according to your working style or your workflow, the commands maybe which you use more frequently or more often, just make a list of those commands. That's like I use these commands, and I want to make shortcuts for them. Don't use shortcuts for line command, obviously. Like don't use shortcuts for basic commands, but like shortcuts for ortho. That is by default on F8. There are also some different shortcuts like F11, F control plus 0 to toggle the scheme, control 1 to toggle properties palette, control 2 to toggle to design center. So different set of shortcuts are there, and you can edit them and assign your required commands into those particular shortcuts. So you should use those function keys or accelerator keys basically. Then you can also on and off the grid using F7, and you can use the ortho on and off using F8. Then isometric plane polar tracking, different options are available there. Okay, so these are the very basics I can say. Then I have also told you about the snap option that you can also do from DDO snap. Okay, where you can select this. That is the same thing I have shown already. Like what are the things you want to include, like perpendiculars to the plane, intersections. You can on and off these things. This is the 3D object snap. Then if I go to like there is, okay, I have covered this. So shapes, I'm not going to talk about much about shapes because you already have different kinds of shapes. Like for circles, you already have different types to how to draw a circle. Like if you have a radius, you can start with the center and radius option. You will be simply providing the center first, then the radius. You can manually enter it as well, like this. And like you can, maybe you want have the diameter and the center. If you want to draw a circle within 2 points, so you have that 2 point, 3 point. So different options are available there. Then the arcs, you can use the 3 point arc, start, end, center. So different like the same arc, but you can draw it in different way because you will be having different types of reference points. For example, if I want to draw a door in this particular corner, not here actually, maybe in this place, so you can use the center, start and end if you have the length of the door. And because if you know the how much length of the door is, sorry, I mean the width, that is maybe 3 feet you want to enter. So in that way you can use this arc tool and get started. Then you have a rectangle tool, polygonal tool. You can explore with these things. These are very basics, and I consider like most of you are like already in third year, fourth year, final year, or even graduated. So like there is no point of like focusing on this very basics. Still, if you have any doubt, you can ask, no problem. So after that, if I like yeah, then there is some basic tools like polylines, then SP line, all those things. Then if I come to the editing part, okay, then obviously you have the move command. You select something, then aim, enter. You can move this, and obviously as my ortho is on, it will move in orthogonal directions only. If I switch off my ortho mode, I can move it to anywhere, any place. And one more important thing I want to mention here, that while you'll be using, maybe most of you already know this, maybe for example maybe this I have made only one window. Suppose I have, sorry, I have made only one window and I want to copy this. So always whenever you are copying or moving something, use the reference point as you, because that will give you more precision. So, okay, for example, I want to copy this, CO, enter. Okay, then as this all these spans are same, I'll be placing this particular window in the middle of every wall, right? So what I'll do, as I have already placed it here, so I will select a reference point. So for me, because this is a continuous line, sorry, yeah, no, this is a, small line, so I can easily get the center points of this walls. That is fine. But if this was a continuous line like this, you cannot get the center point at each places because the center will lie somewhere. Yeah, this is the center, right? So at the time, what you will do, you will use your reference to copy your objects. So as you have already placed this in the middle of this particular wall, you can use reference points like this. This is not an appropriate corner because we cannot consider the column, because in most of the cases the columns are placed in such a way that it comes within the walls. So that's why you need to uh, keep a reference of something fixed point. So what I know, that in this particular drawing, that my uh, columns are actually in the same equal distance. So I can, in this particular case, I can use column corners as references. So I can use this point as reference, and I'll simply click on the next one. So in this way you can copy using the reference points, and that is very easy and convenient as well. Or else what you will do, you can simply copy, but if you start like this as a reference point, maybe even if your ortho is on, you will like judge with your open bare eyes like, okay, this is the center, but that is not the exact center, right? So that is not very much technical. So you need to consider some kind of reference points, and reference point always gives you proper and exact measurements and placements of windows and doors. And I had to group these objects just because I wanted to copy this very easily and very often. And one more important thing is that as I have grouped this, if I right click and select similar, sorry, this was in the same layer. Okay, so yeah, fine. And you can, as you can see, that there are different dimensions of windows. That's why we have shown the different dimensions. Basically, I don't do that much of drafting. It was the client's meeting, and he was sitting in front of me. He's already a contractor. That's why I had to draft in front of him. Okay, so that was the requirement basically. So this is a a very quick and rough sketch, you can say. Very much modifications. This was done within 20 to 25 minutes, I guess. This is very pretty basic sketch, and a lot more revisions will be there because the plot is very crazy kind of plot. This is the outline. This gray line you can see. This is the outline of the plot, and that is how the commercial place looks like. So whatever. So this is the thing. Then you can some kind of, I'll talk about the text and dimension settings and all those in the next class. Today, what else? I'll just completely finish all those basic tools and commands because don't want to waste more times on commands actually, because there are lot more things we need to learn regarding the quick application and representation things. Today we can spend some times on furnitures and all those things, like how to scale those and properly fit those things. Okay, then from editing perspective or point of view, we can use this copy move tool, and then obviously there is mirror option. Like if you have for in this case, suppose I know that this is a single line. No, these are not single line. You can join these as well. Okay, so in this case, I know that this is a single line, so I'll obviously get a midpoint of this. So I'll get a reference point. So if I need to mirror this object, so I'll simply hit MI enter. So I'll get this reference point because I know that I can get a midpoint here and easily. If I keep my ortho on, it will automatically put it on the opposite side. And after you hit enter, it will show you that whether you want to erase the source object. If I hit on yes, obviously this source object from where I mirrored it, it will be deleted or erased. And if I hit no, obviously it will keep it. So in that way you can use your mirror, and obviously this mirror option helps you a lot to do the things. But at the same time, you also need to keep in mind that don't use this mirror for like drafting all your things, because if you have a very poor tendency of using mirror all the time, what you will do, you will create plans and mirror it to reproduce the other half of the plan, and at that point of time your creativity dies. Maybe you can use, if you are don't getting any kind of item, maybe you can use this kind of a building pattern or something like that. Okay, I'm just doing it in random. So suppose this is, suppose this is a kind of something kind of building shape. So if you draw some kind of bedroom into it and you want to mirror it and place somewhere else because you want to save time. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Like you want to just simply draw a bedroom. Maybe this is your bedroom. You have arranged all the things and you want to mirror it and paste it somewhere else or copy it. At that times, your creativity will die basically. Instead of doing that, obviously you should do that if you are like designing for flat or building complexes, because in that case repetition of plan or repetition is very important. Maybe you are designing a hotel, so the hotel rooms are quite much similar, right? So in that case you have to use that thing. But other than that, if you're doing for a residential project, don't use this copy or mirror option for copying your pattern or copying your existing drawings, because that is not good actually. It will like kill your creativity, because if you do it one more time, maybe you will be playing with placement of the objects. Maybe you will orient the room in some other direction or play with the placement of the door and something else. And if you do it automatically, just simply copy and paste it, your maybe your imagination dies there. You don't want to spend more time on that particular thing. So if there is a requirement, obviously do it. But if there is no requirement, if you're doing for a very small project, always try to come up with some new idea. So that is how you will like you can create more and different things. So that was it. Then, and offset, obviously I already told about the offset thing. So offset is basically nothing. O double enter you can hit, and at that time O enter, and then you can provide the distance. Basically you want to offset, then enter. You can easily offset inside or outside. And apart from that, if you have like you are doing for the walls, so in that case how you will do it quickly. Just simply you have drawn something. For in my case, how I quickly came up with this solution, because whenever you are drafting in front of a client, we have our draftsman of in our firm who is basically a civil engineer. Still he does this drafting things, and we have our architect for architectural 3D modelings and all those parts. But still, whenever there is a requirement that the client or the basically these contractors or the other engineers who are basically constructing, say they sometimes they have some kind of rough sketch with them. They have came to us just for the drafting purpose, and a quick discussion of how the columns will be oriented, because the contractors are always concerned about the money, right? They want to know that how much they have to bear up or how much they need to invest in this particular project. So in that case they come up with a very rough sketch, and they want that within 15 or to 20, within 10 to 15 minutes, or maybe maximum half an hour, a rough diagram will be plotted, and the basic column layouts will be like suggested, so that he can get that, okay, this many number of columns, this many beams, okay, then this much area, then my cost will be this much. He gets a rough idea. So in that case you have to speeden up your process, and you cannot put all your concerns on the details. So it depends on the project or the type of work you are doing basically. So in my case it was something like that. He wanted to know that how many columns will be accommodated in this place. Basically this is a dining hall, the top floor of a particular market commercial place. So he wanted to know that how many columns will be there, and also what will be the bathroom size and all those things. So that's why I had to do it very quickly. So in that case, how offset command will work? Obviously, offset will be the very basic command will be using more often. So what I did for the first place, he had something these dimensions, and he there was an existing building, and he just measured these dimensions, like what is the distance from this point to this point. So some clients also come to you with this much of information. What do you think that the client will measure all these lines? Yeah, obviously he can measure this, but he will measure this angle. How will you get these angles and all those things? So what they do is they just simply measures from the existing building what is the, you know, what do you say, that the distance of the plot boundary. They just measure that much only, and they will come to you. So you need to understand. So in my case, I had to draw a circle here, you know, because, sorry, not from here, he had something dimension from this corner portion, yeah. And from the corner, he's such a, you know, I don't like say like this obviously, but he measured this corner distance. I'm just wondering what have you thought. He told me that he didn't know which one is the straight, you know, straight line or the straight distance. That's why he measured this corner to this corner. So to accommodate that, I had to draw a circle. Then from this corner, he had some kind of you know, distance 2 feet or something like that. Okay. Then also from here also he had some kind of distance and a line. He had these particular line dimensions. The dimension from here to here. This dimension he had. Okay, so I had to draw arc here. Then from that line, the point where it was intersecting, I extended that line to intersect this bigger circle, and that's how I get this particular plot. And after that, it actually exactly matched, because I plotted this part and this also matched with these dimensions and all those things. So you need to understand how you can create more with less information, because most of the times the client who will be coming to you, maybe you will not be able to visit the site. Always try to visit the site if you are getting a very good amount or a very big project or a very valuable project. Try to visit the site. That will give you much information. You can always carry a measuring tape for you with you. That is good. But in most of the cases, because sometimes what happens, civil engineers get the chances or opportunity to visit the site because they had to do the surveys and all those stuff. But in most of the cases, what happens, people come to the architects or the interior designer after the construction of the house has already been started, or maybe the basic beam columns has been already casted. So in that case, maybe you will not be able to take all the dimensions and measurements. So you have to visualize and understand how you can plot these lines, how you can do this. So from the concept of arc, I somehow managed to draw this line, because he wasn't having sufficient tape to measure this whole length, and at the same time he was giving me random lengths like 2 feet from boundary, 2 feet from this corner, boundary 9 feet from this corner. I'm how can you work with this kind of information? This is completely vague information. Okay, but still he is the client, he is the person who is going to pay you for this particular work, so you have to use his informations. And maybe as he was a contractor, he visited that place, and that is far away from my place, so I cannot go to that site as well. So that's how you have to look for other alternatives. Somehow you have to manage it, and in some cases it has also happened we are unable to exactly plot the boundary area, but still we have done it. We have done the project completely successfully, because we have maintained the certain things. Like, for example, maybe this distance I know, maybe he told me that this is 2 feet. In this particular project, I have completely matched with all the dimension he was having. But maybe in some cases, some dimensions and you are unable to manage other dimensions. So at least go with the least thing, right? So this much dimensions, okay, then you can accommodate this, and there will be some kind of distance left within this area. So you can go with that. But you cannot obviously extend this particular wall to this portion, so that will be outside of the plot area actually. So you need to consider those things, because many of the times sufficient information is not available, because the person who will be taking the measurement and delivering to you, he is not an architect or he is not an engineer. Maybe he's a labor actually, but you have to deal with those people. You have to get the job and get it done. So you have to like develop your own way, and you know how you are like visualizing this particular thing. What is the importance of circle? Why AutoCAD has provided these different types of drawing styles of like circle? It could have easily given you only center and radius format, but why they have provided the 2 point circle? That is the use. That is when you are gonna use that particular thing. In these cases, there are already a lot more application of those things in machine designs and all those, but obviously in our cases as well, these are very useful. So that is how you are gonna explore this tool in a new way. Circle tool is not all about drawing circles. There is a lot more to it. So this is how I see AutoCAD and I learned it. Basically, I also learned from a academy, Autodesk certified training center. But after that, I realized that they just taught me the commands. But the actual things which I'm using right now is completely self-taught or self-learned actually, by doing iterations, by doing different projects, by exploring with the tools. Because if you are in third year or second year, this is a very good time to spend time behind exploring these things. Because after that you will not get that much time to explore. You have to grab something and do it. That is the thing. So in this way you can use the offset command. And obviously, yeah, I was talking the point, I deviated actually. Yeah, so if you are doing the external walls actually, so you can simply set your dimensions to maybe 250. Okay, so you have already created an offset of 250, and you can easily offset this, then trim and come to a proper shape of the plot after you have drawn this particular area. And don't expect that someone will come to you and give you nice looking plot boundaries with each and every angle and each and every dimensions or boundaries of that particular area. No, it will never happen. They will have some random dimensions. They will say that the plot is a hexagonal plot, but it is not a regular hexagonal. Okay, they'll not say the angles. What you can ask, if someone is if you are talking to someone on over telephone and he's telling you that he wants to uh, measure the plot, what are the information that you as an architect want from him? Just tell him that, sir, I don't know how you are going to measure the side. At least measure all the different sides of it and the corners of it. Sorry, I mean the diagonals of it. So if he or she measures the diagonals, you can easily plot that area without any problem or hesitation in AutoCAD. I can guarantee you that. What you will do, you will basically simply use the circle. If you have a diagonal, you can draw a circle. Okay. So suppose I don't have this, I know the length of this side, but I don't know the exact angle. So in that case, I can draw different. I know that this particular line, okay, this particular line is maybe I first drawn this line. Then I know that there is a line on the left side of it, which is having this much length. So I can start drawing a circle. Then I'll start drawing another circle in different sides. Okay, and in that way, in this way, then I also know that the diagonal from this point is, I know the diagonal, so I can draw the circle as well, and the intersection point will obviously be the line. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Or if I take some values and give you the examples, I think it will be more clear.
With the values, sir.
with values. Okay. So I need to basically okay, let's try with some values. For example, let's take a trapezoidal shape plot, because in most of the cases that happens. So let's say we have a trapezoidal plot here. How much? Maybe 90. Okay, maybe 50 meter. Okay, so this is the main line. Then I'll randomly put it because I don't know the angle, or the client haven't talked about the angle. So I'll keep this as maybe 20 meter random angle. I don't know the angle. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so 20 meter. This side, how much do you want? Random. Let's say 35 meter. Okay, and this is my plot. So this is the exact plot, or the actual site plan, site boundary you can say, and I'm gonna recreate it with the information available with me. So before that, let me just put the dimensions. Because the client will say you with the talk you with dimensions only, right? So the client can easily measure the sites. That is really easy. He can do that much for you, at least if you are not physically present at the site. So this much is the information available with me. I know there is a trapezoidal plot which is having these 4 sides. And what else I'm asking to the client, sir, please measure the diagonals. Okay. So he will measure the diagonals and tell you the diagonals. So I also know the diagonals actually. So this 6 length I know. I know the sides and I know the diagonals. So I need to create the exact same in the AutoCAD. This is my exact site and I need to create this within the AutoCAD. So maybe this is not at all like this. Maybe this is actually rotated. Nothing is horizontal. Let's say this, the site is something like this. Okay, very practical. Nothing is horizontal, or nothing is vertical. Okay, the site is something like this. I'm gonna recreate it. So start with any site. For, let's say in my example, I'm starting with this 35 meter site, because I don't know how the site looks. I just know that there is a site which has 4 sides, and I have the dimensions of that particular 4 sides, and I have its 2 diagonals. Okay, so how I'm gonna start? I'm gonna start like switch on my ortho, sit back, turn on the AC, and start drafting. So 35 meter. This is my first length. I know this is 35 meter. Then I know that there are 2 sides. One is of 71.8 meter and one is of 50 meters along this particular 35 meter side. So what I will do, I will just draw 2 circles. One with, I know that at the left side there is 50 meters, so the radius of this circle will be 50 meter, and on the other side there is 71.8 meter. Okay, I know these 2 things. Then I know the diagonal. You can color this circle as well. That will help you. You have came to know about these 2 circles from where? From the dimension of the sides. So I am keeping it as green, just for my convenience, not for the actual drawing. And for the diagonals, the circles I'll be drawing, I'll be doing it in red color. Okay, just to make you understand easily. So I'm now I'm gonna plot the diagonals. So I know one of the diagonal is 66.571. So from that this corner 66.571, and then another diagonal I have 64269 mm. 64269 mm. So what you can see that with a single line I have drawn 4 different radius circles. Okay, so I know that this 2 green circle represent the sides, represent the radius of the sides, and these 2 red circle represent the what? These represent the diagonals. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, as you can see here, yes, hello,
Sir, can you please repeat
which part,
green part?
see, this is I first drawn. You can start with any side. Okay, you have got these information, a list of dimensions. You have your 4 sides. It'll tell you that the 4 sides are following: 35 meter, 50 meter, 20 meter, 71.8 meter, and the 2 diagonals are following: 66.571 meter, 64.269 meter. That's all. So randomly start with any one side. So I have started with 35 meter side. You can start with the 50 meter side as well, anything you want. So I have started with the 35 meter side. I have drawn a line which is of length 35 meter. Okay, so now I'm gonna draw 2 circles whose radius will be exactly same as the 2 other different sides adjacent to this 35 meter side. So I know that there are 2 sides which are 50 meter and 71.8 meter. That much the client will tell you. So don't worry about the left or right. Okay, simply just draw 2 circles. So if you even consider the left and right side, so I know that on the left side of the 35 meter there is a boundary which is of 50 meter length. So I have drawn this circle. This is 50 meter radius circle from the left end of this 35 meter line, and from the right end of this 35 meter line I have drawn this circle which is of radius 71.8 meter. Fine. This green circle came. Okay, let me also color
Yes,
this
sir.
line. Let me also color this line also. You will get to know, like, understand it easily. Now it is understandable.
Yes, sir, got it.
Yeah. So for the diagonals in the same way, I have used red colors just to show you. I don't use. I do it with the same color actually. I'm like pretty much comfortable with that. So for your convenience, I have shown you with different colors. So the diagonals, this one is the diagonal, the left diagonal, which is starting from the left end of this 35 meter line of 62.469 meter radius, and this one is the bigger one, the 66.571 meter radius. So now what I'm going to do, I know that from this particular end, let me switch back to color black. I know that from this end, now you can turn off the ortho actually, because you will be dealing with not you know not orthogonal lines. So I know that there is a side of 50 meter which is intersecting with the diagonal 64.269. So this is my 64.269 meter radius, and the circle for 50 meter. Which one is the circle for 50 meter? The smaller one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this smaller, which are the lines that are intersecting here? Just see here. This 50 meter line and the, sorry, this 66.571 meter line and this 50 meter line, right? These two are intersecting here. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
This diagonal 66.57 meter and 50 meter, those two are intersecting in the same way. This is my 50 meter circle and this is my 66.571 meter circle. So obviously those are intersecting is in this point. So you are already getting a reference point. So just join them. And I can like obviously you know that what is the length of this. You know that already. That is 50 meter. See, right. In the same way, doing the other side, it is this point is this particular point, that is the intersection, this particular point, this is the intersection of 71.8 meter and 64.269 meter. So this is my 64.269 meter circle, and this is my 71.8 meter circle. So this is the intersection point. Right. So I have already got this. So I can easily join these last two lines. Now I'll delete all these circles, and I can assure you all the dimensions they are exactly matching. Just let me prove you. 35 meter, 50 meter, 20 meter, 71.8 meter. See, exactly matching. And talking about the orientation part, that you can do easily. You can, but you don't worry about the orientation actually, because if you know the direction. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was disconnected. Where did I left? Can someone help me with that? Like, where did I left actually?
Orientation part.
Okay, orientation part, right? So you understood now how I came up with this particular plan from this, only knowing the sides and the diagonals, not the angles. So anybody has
Yes,
any
sir.
kind of doubt? Because this is very important. This will be something you will be directly implementing while you will be taking some kind of project, because you have to draw the site plan, and in that case people face this difficulty. And I have shown you an example with a plan which has 4 sides. So basically it has 2 diagonals. So you can do it with any kind of plan. Okay, any kind of polygonal plot, if it is there. Sorry. Yeah, so any kind of plot, you just need to know the the diagonals. You need to know the sides, you need to know all the diagonals, and you can do it easily. You can easily do it just by drawing the circles and then taking the intersection points. Just observe what are the intersection point in the actual plan and what are the intersection point of those circles, and you can easily come to this. And talking about the orientation, you can easily rotate it if you get to know the actual side directions. So don't worry about orientations, because once you have got the perfect angles and perfect the side dimensions, you can easily start constructing or planning your house within this particular area by knowing the particular direction, because direction will give you the vastu and other things. So you can easily start, and when you'll be representing it a sheet, you will be showing it the site plan, and in that case you can rotate it. So don't worry about that. So in this way you can easily draft any kind of site. And in my case it was a bit complicated because it is not a regular shape. It has too many, you can see there are different kinds of bends. This has a particular level of inclination, that is, it is showing 74.77 degree. Then this is 79.32 degree. So obviously the client will not measure the degree. He doesn't have that tool. So I need to, I get to know about this from these distances from the edge of the existing building. So you need to have some kind of information, and from that scratch you can start easily. So you need to figure it out how you can start from scratch. So I have shown you a very simple example, and if you start with this particular arc concept, you can easily go further and do more. So I think that is all for today. If you have some kind of doubts, or like how many of you were like already using this arc thing to plot the area, site area actually? Was anyone using? Okay, Apur was using it. Right, good. Okay. So if you have
can
any,
how to put furniture,
hello?
sir?
Yeah.
Hello. Can you tell how to put furniture from template and at the scale like that?
Yeah. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay.
There is a very simple command. I'm telling you right now, if you are doing the furnitures right now, maybe you are stuck in between somewhere. I'll tell you that tomorrow again, just use the align command. That is the very basic and the simplest way to place your furnitures.
So size of the furniture we should know, or
Okay, let me tell it actually today if you want to know. Don't worry. Let me open a template first. I'm not having that furniture template right now with me. Just okay, I'm having, sorry. Okay, let me just try with something different. The same thing. Let's assume that okay, let's suppose that I want to place this window. Okay, let's suppose this is a window. Let's suppose this is a template. Okay, just let me block it. Okay, so this is basically a template now. I can say that. Himanish, are you with me?
yes, sir.
Okay, let's suppose you have downloaded some kind of template, and this is your template. Your template looks something like this with a single entity, blocked object. So this has nothing to do with the proper dimension and nothing else, because someone else has drafted it or drawn it. So he has used his own standardization, or the sheet you will be downloading. It will accommodate so many things that it will not be in proper proportionate or dimensions. So in that case, how will you do it? Suppose I'll drag this to my existing this plan. Okay. So how I'll do that? But I need to show you with a proper, dimension. Yeah. Or else how can like understand? You can understand. This is already in scale. How will I show you? Like, suppose this is in how much is this length? That's why I was talking that I will tell you tomorrow, because I haven't prepared that. You know, you what you need to do if you are stuck somewhere in between. Suppose you have a plan or a elevation or a top floor plan actually, where you want to place your particular furniture. Suppose this is a furniture. So suppose this is a sofa. Okay,
Okay.
a sofa for the people who never seen a sofa. Okay, so this is a sofa. So you want to place it somewhere inside this bedroom. Suppose this is a bedroom. Now your bedrooms may be in proper dimensions. Suppose this particular top side is 12 feet and this is the 10 feet. So your bedroom, you have drawn it in actual dimensions, but the sofa element that you have copied from the template, that is in this much size. Okay, or maybe even smaller from your very much smaller. So what you need to do is you need to know a particular, you need to have a particular information, and that is what is the standard size of a sofa. And how will you get to know that? You can search that on Google, but you can also use your common sense. What is a sofa? How many people are going to sit on it? If it is a 3-seated sofa, what will be the length to comfortably sit for one person? How much space do you require? 2 feet or 2 feet to 2.5 feet, that is more than enough. So if one people requires 2 or 2.5 feet of area, length to sit on a sofa comfortably, so for 3 people it will be a 7.5 feet, or that is too much. I think if you consider 6 feet, it is standard. So you know that for a 3-seated sofa, I need a 6 feet length sofa. So what you will do, you will simply draw a line of 6 feet. Don't look at the dimensions here, because this page is not as per the feet and inches. So suppose you have drawn, this is a 6 feet line. You can do that because you know your room is already in actual dimensions. So you can actually draw a 3 feet line here. So what you will do, just simply select it, your particular drawing, and click AL, enter, align. Now it will, you need to provide the source and the reference, and you need to connect these two things. So what you will do, suppose you want your this is the sofa, and you want to orient it, okay, in a 90-degree and adjust here. So you will, okay, let me also give you with a smaller example. You will visualize it easier. I'll do this again tomorrow. So what you need to do is just select it and hit AL, enter, and select this corner and this corner. See, a line is connected. That means it will shift this corner to this corner, and you want to shift this corner to this corner. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Then hit enter, and it will show you scale the objects based on alignment points. If you need to hit yes in order to scale the object, or else it will simply take it and keep it there. So if I hit Y, enter, see, that is my 3 feet line, and it has automatically accommodated. So in same way, if you are copying a bed, okay, so what you will do, you know that the length of a standard bed will be somewhere between 6.5 feet to 7 feet or to 8 feet. Okay, so just simply draw a 7 feet line. You can do that. Then take a template of your bed. Maybe your bed is this much, very small, maybe your bed is this much small, and this is your actual 7 feet line. This is the actual 7 feet line inside of your bedroom, and the template you have downloaded, the bed is this much small, and you want to adjust it here. So what you will do, simply again select AL, enter, then select the, you want to shift that corner to this portion, and that this corner to this portion, then hit enter, and yes, see, it has been already scaled. And always, if you are downloading any kind of template, maybe the template is not in blocked format. Like that means each of these elements are separated. Like this is a separate element, separate element. Before importing that particular template into your drawing, make them a block. Just select them and hit B, enter. And you need to provide some kind of names to that particular block. Let's say I'm writing Himanish. Okay, so now it has been like converted into a block. It is easier to scale your objects when it is blocked, or else maybe some lines get disturbed, those hatch gradients, all those things, they some kind of they create a lot of mess. So you better you make a block, then do the align thing. Did you get?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. And again, we will discuss this tomorrow with some real templates, because okay, I got the template actually. Okay, we'll discuss it tomorrow.
Okay.
This was the template that map provided. I already had a template. See, it is huge. Yeah, this is the same actually. Oh, this one actually I provided to ma'am, and ma'am again provided it. I provided this particular template to ma'am, 3 years earlier, and today she again sent it back. And I also shared this in the group.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, download it and use it. Simply, I think it will cover most of the elements, like whatever you are. If you are doing very typical commercial projects, maybe some things are missing, but still you will get almost all the things, the trees and all those things. So simply for my, in this case, if you want to see again, for some, suppose I'm gonna provide a tree to this elevation. I'm doing it with a real example. So suppose this is the tree I'm gonna provide. I don't like this tree. Okay, let's say this one. So just simply, it is already blocked. So simply I'll copy it, not CO enter, because it is on a different sheet. That's why I'll just simply Control C. Okay, it has been copied, and I'll Control V here. And you cannot see it here, but you know that the tree is here exactly at the center of this particular cursor. It is so small that you cannot see here. So you just click it. I have clicked it, and I know that it is somewhere here. You see, it is been selected, right? So your objects may be even so much smaller that you cannot see it within the bare eyes. So what you need to do whenever you will be copying and pasting, at the time of pasting, just remember where you are clicking. I clicked here, that's why it was pasted here. After hitting Control V, I'm doing it again. You guys may like mess it up, that's why. So again, I'm doing, this is my template. I have selected this, and from keyboard I'm hitting Control C. Then I'm going to my actual sheet where I'm drawing all these things and hitting Control V. And the place where I'll click, it will stay there. See? So you need to scale this now. Okay. I'm scaling this just because so that I'm able to see it. Nothing else than that. Or else if you can see it, there is no need to scale it. See, I have scaled it even though it is small. I'm again scaling it to 100. Now it is somehow visible. Okay, so my template is here. So the drawing, this particular drawing is not into scale because it was provided for the drawing. So suppose you know that your floor height is, because if I had the dimension proper here, I could have drawn up exact line of the height of the tree. Okay, so suppose your generally a floor height is 10 feet, right? So the tree you are going to provide, as this is a some kind of those palm trees kind of thing. So basically this is a long tree. Let's suppose that this is 12 feet height. Okay, So it will be standing somewhere from this level to this level maybe, or you can like draw any kind of line. If you want to make it 10 feet, just draw a 10 feet line. Let's suppose this is my 12 feet line and I just want to fit it. So I'll hit enter, align, and I need to select any random point that I'm going to provide as a base and select this point. And for the topmost point, I'll select and hit this. Then enter and Y for yes. You see, now I can delete this. So you need to understand that. Now, if you ask me, sir, how much length, height should I provide for a tree? I cannot answer you that. You have to imagine it. You cannot like provide, 10 or 12 feet heights for this kind of shrubs. Those are basically for garden purposes, and they are very small heights, like maybe half feet, 1 feet, or maximum 2 feet height. That's that much only. These are very small plants. So you need to have that particular, common sense or that imagination. So that's how you can proceed, and these are random actually. But if you are playing with these bedroom elements or the interior home stuffs, they have actually pretty good proper standard, so you can use that. But you need to have that idea. For suppose if you are copying a 3-seated sofa and you are drawing a 1 feet line within your bedroom and aligning it, that is completely nonsense. So you need to understand that a 3-seated sofa, okay, a standard length of a 3-seated sofa should be somewhere around 6 feet or maybe 5 feet or 7 feet. You can take the help of Google, but at least have some common sense that 3 people will sit here, so how much space it may require. You can start from scratch. You can start your thinking from that scratch. So that is how you can proceed. So see you in tomorrow's session. If you don't have further doubts, we can end this here. Sir, I'm having doubt on commercial spaces, but I'll ask tomorrow. Yeah, sure. Sure, Apu.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So see you tomorrow. Good night.
See you, sir. Good night.